Anyone else got a question? Alan.
I know you're old, so I'll ask a question. But surely the banks in Australia, one, they've got government guarantees, all their deposits are guaranteed. Two, there's no competition in the lending at the moment. They can lend at a good premium over what they borrow, and that premium has widened since the crisis. And they were in better shape than other international banks. I appreciate that they've got a lot of borrowings out to local businesses which will go bust, but are they really in such bad shape?
Yeah, they are. The Irish government backed fully and wholly the Irish banks to a point, and preceded the backing from the other countries in the European Union. So what was happening was money was flooding into the depositor base in Ireland, because the Irish were offering 100% guarantee on all deposits and all kinds of deposits, if I understand it correctly, definitely all deposits. Still, they went bust. So the deposit insurance, the deposit backing from the government only helps the cash flow. The cash flow is, spread. So the spread's going to be consistent, right? Which it was in Ireland. The deposits are being consistent, fine, but they're not solvent. That's the problem. They have taken principal risk that they didn't understand, and they've taken too much of it. Basically, that's the situation. And these people, what you have to remember is they're not particularly clever. Really, rowing or something like that. You want a tough opponent so you feel good about having won. We're attacking lightweights. This is easy. These guys honestly thought this would go on forever. We're not going to feel good about this. We're just going to get rich. So what you've got to remember is I rang up in, I think, March or April last year. I rang up APRA and I discussed what was going on, and they assured me that I was totally wrong. By the way, I'm always wrong. I'm always wrong. And I have been foolish, and I've been wrong about that. I'm always wrong until a little bit later. Anyway. So the lady on the phone assured me, I got a fairly senior APRA official, and I said, are you telling me that you know more about the interrelationship between banking regulations and the business cycle? Are you saying you know more about that than George Soros? And she said, I do this all day. All day. I'm sure George Soros hardly knows anything about Australian banking regulations. And I said, oh man, I wish I'd take that. Anyway, so these people know their lightweights, they know nothing. They've been lowering standards, they're pro-cyclical. They thought, they didn't think, they lowered the standards during these monumental but only temporary economic tailwinds. They lowered the standards during the time of easy money, and now they have no idea what they're doing. They have absolutely not the faintest idea. We are not going to feel good about this because they're lightweights. This is going to be just too easy. That's the third question. Two questions. First one. Wait, third question. Are you an accountant?
Ready when you are, Roland?
Oh, yeah, shoot. Okay, well.
No, just asking, your premise here for the Australian banks is it dependent on a sort of a crash in real estate. There's a difference between the American banks, the lending system there, and here. So are you saying the trigger here is going to be a crash in value of real estate in the Australian banks?
Yeah, they've overlent.
But on real estate?
Yeah. They've overlent. Well, this is the interesting thing. It used to be, in the grand old days, before the bankers got intelligent, it used to be that one silo of the economy would be bust and overflow early. But what they've done is they've managed to build up all the silos at about the same time. So right in, I think it was 84, Houston real estate bust. Too much money, before I go. The rest of America could cope. But what's happened is leverage buyouts, our friends, good friends at Babcock and Brown, thank you. Our good friends at Allco, thank you. Our good friends at the Macquarie Bank, thank you. These people have all borrowed too much money. You know, everyone has borrowed too much money. So it's not just one silo collapsing, it's the whole lot going pretty much at the same time. The only truly beautiful thing is it hasn't, well, actually, the question kind of is, I'm going to change the question. This is kind of Palin style, changing the question, talk about oil, Alaska, dig! No, I'm not going to talk about Alaska. Yeah, the answer to my question you asked, the question is, before I can repeat it, is how come there's a delay in Australia?
So what was the trigger here?
Yeah, well,
Real estate.
the safety guard on the trigger was, the delay was the mining boom. The mining boom went up until August. The mining boom collapsing was quite predictable, but the mining boom lasted till August. So that was the one leg under the Australian economy and supporting the Australian banks, supporting Australian employment that stayed much longer than the other entities in the other countries. So having been taken away, now we are in a field where there's been too much lending to the miners, too much lending to property, too much lending to commercial property. You know, we've got 31 cranes in Perth building buildings that no one's going to go into, commercial properties, all kinds of loans, leverage buyouts, and all the Macquarie Bank kind of this one. So they're all going to go pretty much bust at about the same speed. It's not a competition. So, but in any case, it will be across the board, and it'll be thorough. So yeah, that was 3 questions. We'll wait for the news. Try to develop a little series of questions afterwards, or during the meeting.